Hey, welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee on this special episode, October 1st, 2023. Hi. All right, I'm just going to refresh my screen here. I've got my laptop in front of me, and I want to make sure we've got sound. I assume we will, but we'll see. Okay, just a minute here. Oh, this is weird. Oh, it's going to play me a... Hey, are you there? Okay, let me just check my sound. Oh, yay, you are here. Okay, great. Hi! Happy birthday to me! Today is my psychic birthday! Yes, it is! And I got this cute little mug, a cup of happy. Isn't it so cute? It actually has tea in it this morning because I already made my coffee. Thank you very much. I already had that. Went for a nice walk to watch the sunrise today. Did the stuff that fills me up. Whew, I got a full day today. I got to work and got to head back to the main house for the night. And so the start of the school week, I'm there. So, all right. So good morning. Nice to see you. I have my laptop just sitting over here that I'm kind of keeping an eye out for here for the chat. Just a minute. Let me just update the chat so I can see y'all. Ooh, I can't see it. Oh, there you go. Oh, hi. Hey. Okay, let me make sure I got my chat going here. Read that. Oh, there we are. Okay, good morning. Hey, Special V, nice to see you. Jennifer's here, Rebel's here, Lorraine. Oh, hi, you guys. Thank you so much. So, Vianne is here. Hi, happy birthday. I know, it's my psychic birthday. I'm 19 today. I have been a psychic. I have been aware that I'm a psychic and a medium. I'm a bridge to all things spirit, to all different levels and all different realms and all different dimensions. I speak a lot of different languages. That might sound like a pretty bold claim, but it's just legitimately the truth. And so over the course of the last 19 years, I've connected and communicated with angels, archangels. That was my first entree into the psychic world. As far as spirit guides go, of course, really, the OG was my dad. And I'll share with you a little bit about my psychic story, about how I realized I was able to talk with the dead in the afterlife was 2 years after my dad's death. So that's the first, oh my gosh, this is a thing. And then I had connections with archangels through meditations that I did. And then I had some spirit guides show up for me. One is Margaret, who was a beautiful Celtic guide who then eventually I ended up getting a spirit animal, started working with totem animals as well, able to hear their vibration, sense and feel them as spirit guides in the form of a turtle. And her name is Margaret, as well as sea turtle specifically. And then over the course of time, working with divine feminine energies and goddesses, I currently have Sekhmet, the Egyptian goddess, that beautiful fire solar warrior goddess energy. And she's probably one of my leads. So is Kali Ma, the Hindu goddess aspect, the creator, preserver, destroyer. She's definitely one of my lead guides. I also... let's feel into who else do I work with a lot. Oh, very frequently saints or deities like our Saint Joan of Arc. She is my lead primary. I have a thing about that sword energy, I think, with Sekhmet and her long sword energy. And with Saint Joan of Arc as well with that also. So those are kind of primaries that I've had. I work with Odin as well. And Lu, the sun god Lu, so many other variations of spirit guides and archetypal energies. I've also worked with the elements and sacred geometries over the years. And most recently, last year, I really immersed in a program for anointing, working with sacred oils, the art of anointing. So for things like the miraphors and death rites, and also just transitions in life, like we're constantly in cycle of death, letting go, rebirth. Oh, this is a hard process to move into the transformation, and then birth, to come into our newness, our fullness, whether we're going through life changes like divorce or career changes or health challenges, whatever that might be, that does that for us. It's not a literal death, but it feels like it, right? And so I've worked a lot with grief. I've worked a lot with identity and sacred self, divine masculine, divine feminine in the last few years. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind in really good ways. Also in the realm of spirit guides, I would be amiss if I did not say Aria, who is a star guide, the star seed energies of Arcturus. And connected with her very much as well. And then also a higher self version of me that I work with, Blue Priestess energy also. So there you go. So yeah, lots has happened over the last 19 years in my psychic work. And it's just the embodiment of me as a whole person, right? So psychic and intuitive, and also my life coaching work. It's all together. So if you ever do session with me, it's like a whole thing. It's not, you're just getting a psychic reading. I'm not doing like cards for you. That's not what's happening. It's like this full multi-dimensional level of energy and clearing and clarity and all the things. Yeah, I've worked with the moon a lot over the course of the last probably 8 or 9 years. I've hosted online groups, Divine Woman and Moon Club, and just so many things. I guess I've been busy. Cheers with my tea. My tea is actually like a little bit of a autumn blend kind of thing. So yeah, that's what we got today. Okay, my dears. So I'm going to share with you my story. I am on my little phone for my recording. I actually have a new phone, so it's a really good camera. Actually, I'm noticing the camera is super good, like almost too good. Like you can see all the bumps and the lumps and the, yeah, okay. All right. Oh, we won't focus on the humanness. Oh my gosh, I have to get ready. I have to head out to work later today. So I have a part-time gig that helps pay the rent. And so I work at a community center part-time, usually on the weekend. This weekend I work 2 days because I'm traveling next weekend. I'm traveling. I'm going to be in New England. I'm going to be in Maine and Massachusetts. I've always wanted to go to Maine. I haven't been to Maine. I'm really looking forward to that. And then Massachusetts, Cape Cod. I have not been there. And so I'm really excited. It'll be amazing. Okay, I'm just going to reboot this for a second. Okay. All right. Oh, I see more on here that I want to say hello to. It's really hard to see this here. Gabriella is here as well. Hi, nice to see you. Oh, Seal, hi. Hey. Tennessee. Hi, my Prince friend. All right, so for those of you who don't know, I have been a psychic, a practitioner, I don't know how to say it. I've been a professional psychic, we'll say that, because I literally came out as a psychic and started working right away. And I did it the weekend of October 1st in 2004. That was 2 years after my dad's death. And I was, at that weekend, it's kind of an odd story. It's very unique. But that weekend I was going to a friend's cabin, a friend who is one of those like ride or die friends. Brenda, shout out to you if you're watching. we were going to do the breast cancer 3-day. And so we were kind of brainstorming ideas about how to make money, how to do fundraising for it. We were going to San Diego to do it the following year. And so we were going to hang out that weekend and talk about it. And it was a girls' weekend, so there were other women there. And I had a friend of mine from work that was coming with me, and decided along the way, because it was not that far out of the way, maybe 45 minutes or so, to bury my dad's ashes. Yeah. Up north in Minnesota, there is a cute little town that my great-grandparents lived in and had a farm in, and there's an old cemetery there that I used to play in as a child. I'm not kidding. I played in the cemetery, which should not shock anybody. I used to call them Grandpa's trophies. I had my alarm going off to remind me to get my butt out of bed. Excuse me, I called them my grandpa's trophies because my great-grandfather was the caretaker of the cemetery. And so I get to go with him and I just play and climb all over the things. It's so weird, isn't it? Not really. Very peaceful place, actually. And so it was that cemetery that we were going to bury my dad. And I arranged all that as the oldest of the 3 kids. And my mom just wasn't really in a place to take care of that because she was moving out of my childhood home, and she had sold it, moving into a townhouse. And it was a whole big time of change for her. And so I just stepped up and took care of it because after my dad's funeral, lots was going on in all of our lives. I just had a baby like a month after my dad died, 4 weeks actually after my dad died. And so there was just so much going on that we never really buried the ashes. We didn't decide. We weren't sure what to do. Should we scatter them? Should we bury them? What was the deal? What we were going to do? So we weren't sure. So they just sat on the buffet table in the formal dining room at my mom and dad's house. Some of you have stories like that, don't you? Yeah. Which is fine, whatever. But then my mom all of a sudden was like, oh my God, I can't move. I don't want to bring dad's ashes with me. I'm like, I got it. I'll take care of it. So I did. So I arranged for him to be buried up north in that cemetery. And that was his side of the family. So, and he liked being up there. So it makes sense, right? So I brought the ashes, stopped at my mom's on the way, like no big deal, just picked up the ashes, put them in the back seat and drove in my little minivan. Yeah, I still had a minivan then. It was not Betty, it was pre-Betty. And we went up and took a little detour, and it was a cold day, actually. It was a little bit kind of drizzly, and October day, right? October 1st, and it was like cloudy, and we literally met a guy that was the guy that digs the graves. Like he literally pulled up in an old Ford pickup truck with a shovel in the back, and he dug the grave. I was like, okay, grave digger. Interesting. So I was very much in my head. I was not at all aware of intuitive abilities or anything for myself. In fact, I had paranormal experiences growing up throughout my childhood. That was just normal. That was no big deal. We had our house had, haunts in it and stuff. There you go. Haunts in it and all that. So that was just normal. It was no big deal. So I knew some of that stuff, but I had never at that point been to a psychic or anything like that at all. Very much analytical, just very mind thinking, analytical type A personality. Not really. Yeah, not like that's not very practical. And so having this experience, luckily I had a friend with me who was very caring and heart-based. And I remember they dig the holes really deep, FYI, even when you have a little box to put in there. So I literally set the box with my dad's ashes in the ground, and I remember feeling the edge of excuse me, the earth. That was a weird feeling, like my face was like right up against the earth and I could feel the dirt on my shoulder. And it was just like, it's deeper than I thought, And so we watched for a little bit as he kind of shoveled the dirt over the box. And my friend, I think we may have said something, or she held my hand, or we might have prayed or something. I wasn't really touchy-feely then at all, so I didn't like to be touched really. So, but she was, so I'm sure she was like, okay, or rubbing my back. Should we say something? Should we say a little prayer? And I just talked about my dad. I get like that when I'm nervous anyway. I talk a lot, which actually serves me very well in my life because that's what I do for a living. And, but I was talking, I know, just busyness, anxiousness. And she nudged me and said, take some rocks, big earth rocks, right? She's like, take some rocks from the pile of dirt. And I'm like, what? So I did. I'm so grateful that I did that because I have them now in a beautiful bowl. They're actually in my living room sitting area. I have a bowl with rocks for my dad's gravesite from the earth there, the earth mother healing energy. And so those rocks rolled around in the back of my minivan for months because I'm like, what do I do with these? At that point, I had no idea what rocks were. Like, see, you guys, it's 2004. Like, that was before crystals and rocks was a cool thing. I was like so ahead of the game. Didn't know what to do with them, but whatever. And so did that, had that experience, and then we went to the cabin. And when I got to the cabin, things had changed for me. I was different. And I don't know how to explain it. Now I would use the term altered. Like, just didn't feel right. Kind of like how when you take cold medicine and maybe you have a headache and you kind of feel off. Like sometimes when you have like a migraine or a headache, you kind of feel almost like you're detached from your body a little bit. Like your head just feels weird and you don't really want to feel all the pain and stuff. So you kind of are not really in your body, but you're around your body, kind of like that. I was in that space and I was driving. But anyway, so we got home, got there, and I was like, I wasn't feeling well at all. And I had this heavy head, altered vibe going on. So I took some medicine and I laid down for a bit. And then I came back downstairs and there were people sitting at the table, talking or something, and some people in the kitchen making some food and, just kind of hanging out. And I sat next to a woman whose grandmother had just died, and I could see the grandmother. And I didn't think anything of it. I just sat down and I just started having a conversation with this woman, and I started describing her grandmother, and I can't remember all the details now. It's been a long time, but I remember her grandmother showed up in this like purple shawl, which purple is a really divine, high vibrational color. It's my birthstone, amethyst. It is a very masculine, feminine balanced color. It's a leadership color. It's divine feminine. For me, it means a lot. And not just Prince to my Prince fans, but it means a lot, right? Very feminine, strong. And I just started talking with grandmother, her grandma. And then I was talking to her and she was like, what? And I said, you're so sad. And I said, did your grandmother recently pass? And she said, yeah. And they were talking about it, and a little bit she talked, and then I was talking to grandma and I was talking to her, and then we just were in this conversation. I was in a session. I was in my first session. And then other ladies were curious about what I was doing, so they were listening in and watching. And then of course this woman got emotional, of course the release, the cry, and just this pressure off her heart, an acknowledgement of the grief and the love that's underneath. So crying is a good thing when we're sad, when we miss something, whether it's a person in the afterlife or a person in this life that's not in our lives anymore. It's okay to feel that depth of grief. Other people don't have to understand your grief. Grief is very personal. It's so deeply personal. It's not something to be compared. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And it's very cyclical, like spiral. It's not linear. It's such a personal process of healing. And it changes you, it grows you. And so that happened, and some other people were curious about things too. And then I got a really bad headache after that, after I had some conversations, some other afterlife conversations. And then I got a really bad headache. I did not feel well, like an ice cream headache. And I now refer to it as a third eye headache. When I do groups, in-person groups, and I'm working, doing, because I'm so clairvoyant, I see so much. And then the clairsentience, the sensing emotion, it hits hard. And I'm trying to process the emotion using my brain a little bit to be able to decipher the translation of words, to put the emotion and the energetics that I'm feeling in my heart into words. I need to use an aspect of my brain, which early on was really hard to kind of do that. While also kind of being in an altered state, because I felt like I had one foot in the afterlife and one foot in this life, and the multiple timelines, it pulls you, and it makes you feel seasick, kind of, is how it felt. Like motion sick would be a way to describe it. And so I get this like ice cream headache, and it doesn't go away. Not even with hydration or medicine, it doesn't go away. So I've learned over time then to really walk, ground, be outside, be on earth. I'd have quiet time before I do group sessions or big talks in front of like people. 'Cause after that, I started doing expos, and I don't do that anymore. I haven't done that for a long time now, but I did expos where I was a speaker and did kind of gallery style readings or group kind of experiences, psychic experiences. Because my goal was to let people have an experience so that they could recognize that it's not strange, it's not odd. I look like the soccer mom next door. Well, now and maybe now not so much with my shaved head, but at that point for sure I looked like the stay-at-home mom next door and the soccer mom on the field. And so I was like, this isn't that odd. You know, your loved ones aren't just gone. And you have so much support from your spirit guides and your healing team, because your spirit, your soul, and your body didn't come here alone. It came here with all the support that it needed. And so we have to remember how to access that. And I believe we all can, which is intuition, which is understanding energy and creating that dialogue for ourselves. And it's different for everyone. You don't have to be a super gifted, talented psychic, right? It's just like I would compare it to, you don't have to be an accountant, a CPA, a certified public accountant, the one that does all the taxes and the fancy stuff. To actually do your own taxes, you can do your own taxes. And if it's complicated, you hire a professional, right? That's like what psychic stuff is. And you should be balancing your bank account and paying your own bills without hiring an accountant, right? It's the same thing. You can be intuitive every day. That's why there are, there are tools now. Everybody's using card decks. Card decks are really easy to use, whether they be oracle decks or whether they be, animal totem cards or angel cards or spirit guide cards. Like I have a goddess Isis oracle, a goddess Kali oracle. I have this Magdalene Rose oracle. This is my newest one. This is actually on Amazon if you want to look it up. This is a good one. This is for very divine feminine though. Very divine feminine people that are really doing their inner work, shadow work and divine feminine healing work. You're really on a spiritual deep dive, especially into your feminine. This is a good one. But now people can use these tools. It's like no big deal. I didn't use cards for years, and I never used them in sessions with people because I was like, why would I do that? I don't need to do that. Now it's like, oh, people love the flashcard vibe. They like to be able to see it. I still don't use them usually in session unless somebody asks me to, or if I'm sitting next to them and I'll pull one and I'll be like, oh, hey, I got this card. This makes sense. And as a wrap up or something like that. But usually I don't do that. But card readings are good by people who know what they're doing. They need to be psychic, okay? They can't just be some neighbor with a card deck, okay? Because you're psychic for you. You are psychic for you. You are the expert. You interpret. Even like somebody like me who's done this for 19 years, you still need to use your own discernment. I'm not right all the time because my interpretation is done through a brain that has human bias, my personal life experience bias. So you must use discernment to make sure that it's accurate for you. And if it doesn't feel right, it's not. Don't force it. Don't make something fit. Just set it aside because sooner or later you'll connect the dots. It doesn't all happen that one moment in that 1 hour session. It's not like that. It does not happen like that. It takes a couple days, a couple weeks, other conversations to kind of sink things in for you. You connect the dots. Because you know your inner circuitry better than anybody else does, okay? You are the expert on you. Wise woman, wise person, wise spirit, wise soul. Okay, so that's how I began my psychic journey, my psychic experience. No, I didn't talk to my dad the first time. And let me just be clear, after my dad died, I was talking to him. We were standing in the kitchen at my house, and my sister was over and other people were over, and we were talking about something, and she's like, have you seen Dad? And I said, yeah, have you talked to Dad? And I said, yeah, I've talked to Dad. But that was before, like, you got to remember, when we grew up, there were ghosts and stuff around us. So it's normal to talk to dead people, kinda. It's a little scary, but it's normal. Like, it's not that odd. And so that's probably why she asked. Plus, myself and my little brother, we are the ones that had all the major psychic experiences happen. So, like, things moving, things being thrown, lights going on and off, furniture moving. Yeah, lots of weird things happened. Lots. I have lots of ghost stories. I should do a video on that. So, all right. So that's how I got psychic. That's my psychic story. That's the first time I came out. That would have been, I actually did have a party at my house, and I invited everybody, all the women that were doing my meditation classes. I was doing meditation courses, just facilitated groups, basically, small women's groups at a women's clinic, a birth center. At that time. And then I had some private sessions, and I did some small groups as well to make money for the breast cancer 3-day, the fundraising. And so within like 6 months, I had all the money I needed. Plus I was making money. So then I licensed my business and was doing that as a side thing. And then I got certified as a life coach. And so I utilized my life coaching certificate and my life coaching practice and melded it with my psychic work. And so back in the day, before there was like a soul coaching certification, I called myself an intuitive life coach, long time ago. So that's something I've been very comfortable with working with, because we've got to access all the parts of us: mind, body, heart, and soul. Not one or the other. You don't choose, I'm going to be in the spiritual world or I'm going to be in the human world. You get to be both. And that sometimes feels tricky. But we have allyship in our bodies. Our bodies are very intuitive, and they're also very physical matter mass. So the body is the best ally, which right now it seems like we're not taking such good care of those bodies. And then the heart, of course, as well, is oftentimes browbeaten by our brains and really criticized and really just hammered and forced into a small little place. And really the heart is filled with light and so much love. So, all right. So with that, this is our Sunday Morning Coffee podcast episode. I'm so glad you guys were here today. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. So I'm going to grab my laptop here. You're going to see me popping down here looking at that. Hi, Chloe. Anne, Penelope, haven't seen you all before. Nice to see you. Oh, Anna, hello. Hi, Drew. Nice to see you. Again, Rebel. Gabriel, I think I said hi to you. I'll just make sure I get everybody. Yes, Queens. Yes, Queens. I'm working on a new YouTube channel, by the way. A new one. Yeah. Just focusing on a different part of my life's journey. So, Hey, I thank you guys for being here on the Sunday Morning Coffee podcast edition. It's nice to see you. It's nice to have you here. I look forward to continuing to connect with you on Sunday mornings. They probably will be in audio though, because I am traveling. Like I said, next Sunday I leave and I don't return till the following Sunday. I'm going to Maine. I'm going to Massachusetts, Cape Cod, and I'm gonna see the ocean, be by the water, and that'll be awesome. I don't know if it's gonna be cold though. Today it's gonna be 89 here, 89, and the facility that I work in does not have air conditioning. It's gonna be crazy. Be a sweat box. That's okay. It's a good thing I like it warm, right? It's a good thing. Hey, I want to draw your attention to, after this video goes live, in the description below, celebrating my psychic birthday this week, I'm doing a psychic group experience, which is kind of fun. I do a little mini channel, like grab a spirit guide or do something psychic-y. And then, the group has an opportunity to ask questions, personal questions, like questions about their lives, about their jobs or their significant other or love or their business or that kind of a thing, you know, traditional old school psychic questions. So that group meets on Tuesday this week, October 3rd at 6 p.m. Central. So if you want to be part of that, we do it on Zoom. And in the description below, when this goes live, this video, you can click on that and join that group. It's $40, so it's a good deal. It's about an hour long, depends on how many people we have, but usually it's a small group. We haven't had more than, I think, 8 or 9 people. So it's pretty small. So everybody usually gets access to ask a question. I try to get to everybody. Like if it gets really big, I won't be able to do that, but so check that out, and you can spend some time with me this week if you'd like to do that psychically in psychic space. So, all right, I'm just gonna check. I just saw another pop up here. All right, so thank you so much. I hope I've inspired your spirit today, filled you with hope, and encouraged you to live your life. This is your life after all, and you get to live it intuitively, okay? Using your spirit and your intuition, because you can. You can. You get to live it, so just live it. Thanks for being here. Have a great day. Have a good week.